Speaker, I rise to speak to the divided bills from the Companies and Limited Partnerships Amendment Bill. The Green Party is definitely going to support this bill. It's the Green Party that raised these issues a long time ago when we realised that there was so much rorting going on. In fact, it was back in September 2011 where we realised that the Cabinet in 28th July 2010 had, under Simon Power, decided that it should do something about some of these rorts, some of this effectively money laundering and using of New Zealand as a tax loophole. We had, through parliamentary questions, found that a number of New Zealand registered companies were being used to commit money laundering, tax evasion and fraud overseas, but coming here. And it was through that there was something like, I think, 1,800 companies were deregistered fairly quickly because they had one effectively address and were doing no business but just sitting there, and there was still some time after a few to be taken off. It was good to see that there was some movement, but it was that long ago that there was a decision that something should happen. It was acknowledged. And the Minister of Commerce announced in September 2010 the intention to introduce a law in 2011 to tighten up the requirements around company registration. And we waited and we waited and we waited. And that was in the last Parliament. And here we are in the next Parliament that's fading out. Its time is nearly up. And we have to ask, where has National been in sorting the rorts? National has been clearly absent. Later in 2011, we were offering the government, we were saying, can we help you get legislation through to sort these rorts out? Can we sort that out? So can we have just a one resident director? And clearly that's been a move in this legislation. Ensure that directors document their identity better. And one bit that seems to be missed is obtain an IRD number. Why wouldn't they have an IRD number? Why shouldn't it be included? And then just last year in November, and maybe this was what helped get it moving again, New Zealand was recognised as a tax haven by the Tax Justice Network for the first time ever. And the Tax Justice Network produced the most comprehensive report of tax havens, and last November it ranked us on its financial secrecy index, and that was really, really unfortunate, because that is a place where countries of real disrepute in terms of tax havens, tax rorts were included. And so we had a below average rating, and we needed to change that. So out of that, in fact, Russell Norman, who was been promoting that we had these changes, as we say, right back in 2011, came up with his own bill, and it's in the members' ballot as we speak, and that was to help deal with this. So it's really good that we have some movement now, but we don't think it went far enough. So as a result of some of the goings-on back in 2010, 2011 and previous to that, clearly we were struck off the EU whitelist in 2012, and that added extra costs to New Zealand exporters doing business in Europe. And as we say, we've offered to support this, and we will support it. This will strengthen the company registration process. Dr. Norman's bill is Income Tax, Foreign Trust Registration and Disclosure Amendment Bill, and that will still be worthy on a number of points over and above what we're passing through here tonight. So our comment is, where has National been? Why Why has it taken so long when it was clear that our reputation was being impugned internationally, extra costs on businesses, and yet it's taken from at least 2010 in the time of this national government through here we are, June 2014, to have actually something happening. So we'll be pleased to support it for the positive parts of it. We're disappointed in the bits that aren't being covered, and not requiring registered companies to obtain IRD numbers as part of it, not addressing some of the problems with nominee directors, not clarifying the confusion related to beneficial ownership. It's very unfortunate that these things are still lapsing in terms of this legislation, and we look forward to them being covered in the next government. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Chris Tremaine.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in addition to the kind birthday wishes I received on the 19th of June